Hi, my name is Tina McKinnon. I am a Reiki master, holistic practitioner, and minister. I've been working with energy since I was 16 years old, so it's about 24 years now. And I worked a lot with sacred space, stones, and energy, and got very good at it over the years. So one of the things that I just want to kind of introduce this new concept. It's a grid, it's a crystal grid that would be shared by anybody that is intentionally joining the collective, and every participant that joins in the grid is sharing and collaborating their healing and transformation efforts to improve the whole. This space has been set up very carefully, and it's very safe, and it's set up in a 0 point, no time type grid, which allows us to be insulated from external forces and influences, so that we are best able to work on ourselves without having to continually feel like we're in a win situation, or we're being inundated by external forces that are around us, whether it be microwaves or cell phones or people's emotions. So it's really designed to put us in a place where we can do our work safely and then collectively. So it's kind of a new concept, because it marries up the modalities, so that it doesn't matter what type of healing modality you're using, you are sharing that effort to the whole by becoming part of this community. So some of the things that the grid does, it provides, it's designed to put you into that safe space where you can kind of remove and reduce those external influences. It will minimize unproductive manifestation that can happen through mind chatter, and what it does is it will loop it back around so that it checks in with your higher self to ensure that whatever you're manifesting is in your highest good. It's not just a byproduct of negative thinking. We're in the process of trying to correct and fix that type of thinking. So it basically creates kind of a fair playing field for us to actually make progress, and then boost it by doing it in a collective way. So one of the things that I'm very proud of is the way it's been very carefully designed to be extremely protective, and to ensure that there's no backwards engineering of the grid. It starts at one point and it goes out to the individuals, and the individuals can then do what they would like to do within their own sphere of influence. But those spheres of influence would then, they'll share the healing benefits, but they won't be coming backwards into the primary grid to cause any kind of problems. So they can't be backwards engineered in that way. Also, there's going to be a lot of new programs that we'll continue to add, and how that works is the higher self will basically know when those come in, and they can activate and start using those. So from the individual's perspective, they'll be working on themselves, but they should start to see lots of new stuff coming in for their benefit. The grid can be turned on and off by command, so if people are feeling like they just can't, they need a break, or it's too much, or whatever, all that stuff should be coming in perfect timing, in perfect amounts, so they're not overloaded. But if they do need to feel like they need to turn the grid off, they can do it on command. Some of the things, let's see, some of the things we've added to the grid. I made a list for you here. So this isn't all of them, this is just some. So we did brain hemisphere balancing. There's an auto command for the brain waves, so you can set your brain to level alpha, level delta, or level theta. That's a conscious trigger, so I'm going to make sure you know that that's there. Energy body clearing and chakra balancing, psychic ability expansion. There's trauma clearing. Really what it does is it takes the work that you're doing at the individual level to clear for trauma, and then it takes any work that you've done and it takes that cleared energy and it transforms it into beneficial energy, so that way it can help power the grid. So anything that you manage to clear is then going to get kind of recycled and made into something better and beneficial for the whole. Your usual intentions for having a healthy body, mind, clear eyesight. We did DNA activations, cellular regeneration with the telomeres and telomerase and the overall DNA clearing, frequency raising and vibration. There's a lot towards that is focused on that. Some stuff with lucid dreaming, be able to setting your mind to that level theta before you go to sleep will help with that. If you have a problem sleeping, level delta will help with that. There is a function for entity purging, so as you clear these things, releasing them, you would have to want to release them, but as you release them, similar to the technology where cancer can be met with its own frequency to dissolve it, the entities are met with their own frequency to dissolve them, so that they go back into source and they're basically recycled, also similar to the trauma clearing energy, clearing out that. There's a lot related to quantum, and a lot of quantum resources that are available, so to kind of increase the potential in the grid, so each individual will have access to that potentiality. And there was a lot of sovereignty declarations that were placed in here to help the person to achieve their sovereignty. I recommend the individuals actually go out and do those as well, but those were also put in the grid. We have what we call safe expansion protocol. So what this does is, as the individual starts to make progress in a certain area, it will then kind of escalate them to the next level, kind of nudge them gently, but nothing too extreme. And also, so if you were trying to work on psychic abilities, there's also it's partially designed to make sure that you're able to integrate everything new and learned into your day-to-day existence, so that nothing is too extreme or too much. You don't want to end up in a psychic war, so in some kind of mental war because of taking on too much at once. Everything's really designed to become integrated. We want to get into a balance and still be able to expand. So expanding safely, healing safely. You don't want to end up in a healing crisis, so that's been tapered so that you'll only be able to get as much as you need. It'll keep you pushing forward, but it won't put you in a state where you're in danger or in jeopardy. Be able to, there is some time, there's been some time programming in there to kind of help people maintain a calm state and be able to achieve more in a day. Stabilizing the body temperature and alkalinity in the body, and gentle detoxifications of the energy, emotional body as well as the physical. There'll be some assistance with that. Added some protections against external frequencies and energies like microwave cell towers, chemtrails, radiation, external beings, and incoming. Some people hear things and they think they're helpful, but they may not be helpful, so this should prevent that. Also, some assistance with the nanotech and other things that may be of your concern. If it's not in your higher, if it's not in your highest good, it's not in your higher self's desire, then these things should it should have more control over that now. Activating the heart center, bringing that heart-mind balance back in, heart-centered thinking shifting, quantum clearing for the brain, pineal gland, pituitary, all the glands, helping clear brain fog and repairing damage to the central, also to the central nervous system clearing. So there's just some. It's obviously a lot. And I just want to make sure people understand that the goal is to allow people to use any healing modality that works for them, and but kind of uniting their efforts to help everybody kind of lifting each other up together, and but in their own unique way, which is fantastic. So the individual's job is going to be to try and make headway daily, and they want to set their intention to be part of this, and you know, in accordance with their higher self, and they really will want to collaborate, share in the healing, the work they're doing outwardly and receiving. So really just taking strides each day to improve themselves and to make some headway in the areas of self-improvement, growth, education, you know, healing, trauma healing, meditation, just whatever they want to do, taking that step forward will help the collective. So that's kind of their job. And understanding, I have a lot more videos that get more into depth about really understanding where the grid starts and where the person starts. So there's certain things that you'll need to understand that, well, you, for example, you may not have someone's emotions hitting you internally. You may still have things inside of you that they can trigger. So there's a discernment there in trying to understand that. I've gone into depth with a lot of my other recordings, trying to give people some understanding of that. I recommend checking those out. And I will continue to doing grid talk, which is trying to make the best out of my time. But usually it's my rides home, and I try and capture what I've learned in the day, and then I'll record that and put it up. It might be a little noisy, but there's still going to be a lot of good information there. So I'd suggest, you know, just hop in and check that out if you can. And I want to also say there's a piece about attunement, and I did want to say that, you know, it is more expensive. It's expensive because of time constraints, and I really want to get people attuned, the ones that want to. I want to make sure people understand how to do it safely, and most people will be getting the capstone. I call it a capstone because it's similar to a pyramid. It's a point of light. We're all, you know, kind of setting up new points of light across the world, essentially, creating this new community. So it's kind of like, we call it a capstone because it's kind of like having that point of light where we're connecting the grid and the community. So the capstone, you have the individual capstone, so you can necklace, you can wear it, you can hang it in your house, you can keep it on your person. Those are probably the most common. We can do the live grid setups where it's a sequence of stones. It's a receiving grid, and I'll be giving instructions on how to set that up if somebody wants to set that up in their home. And then there's the attunement, which again, that's going to be me working with the individual. It'll be probably remote attunement unless they're local, and then education on what to do with that. It's pretty awesome because I think it's a lot more balanced when you're attuned, but as a preference thing, it won't really matter that much because either way we'll still be sharing collectively in this healing process, and we'll be working together as a community and still receiving the benefits. Know that, I mean, not every program is going to be applicable to you. There's a lot in there. We've left that up to the determination of your higher self to establish what it needs, and the goal is to achieve 0 point, which is you coming back into your heart space and being connected and kind of being in like perfect mode. So I would encourage anybody who'd like to know more about that to check out Dan Winter's Light Your Own Fire video. Spectacular, great explanation, and I think he does a lot of the heart type electronic balancing machines, and it's just fantastic work, so definitely check that out. And the capstone for the grids, the necklace would be the same as the grid. It would be at center, so a person basically buying the capstone would be wearing it, person that wanted to set up the grid would be using that same stone at the center of their live grid. And the attunement is to attunes to the pineal gland, which has the piezoelectric crystals in the pineal gland, so it attunes to those crystals so that you are basically a walking grid, which is I personally really enjoy. So yep, this is just kind of a new concept of building a community based on crystal grid technology and intention. I think the most important piece is that the healing modalities really have been kind of scattered and separate, and everybody's been kind of doing their own thing. So this kind of allows everybody to still do their own thing, but tie together and become one within the community, and really help everybody elevate each other collectively while still staying unique and being creative in creating new methods of healing, which is spectacular. But it really is important that we do come together one way or another, and I think this is a great way to do it. It's the easy way to do it, and the way it's been set up has been it is very safe. I've kind of checked it with several different people to kind of check and retest it, and had pretty much no complications at all with this. It's been very safe, and what things we did run into, which is like healing crisis stuff, we've got lots of controls in there now to prevent that from being a problem. Now it will all be, you will never get more than you can handle, and it will always be in a sense of that which is the gentlest possible transition. So if you have a lot of health issues and you're concerned about doing something like this where it's on this huge scale and there's all these people that will be sharing healing, I'm sure a healing crisis is something that people would be concerned with. Don't be. The intention is that you will never be in a situation where you're going to be miserable, or you're going to be sick, or you're going to be laying in bed for weeks feeling like you're in a crisis state. That will not happen. The intentions are not set up for that, and the intentions can't be modified by the end users, so to speak, the people that are at the grid now. The people that are receiving these, they can set their own intentions for their own benefit, but those aren't backwards compatible. They're not going to be sent back to the primary source grid. If people would like to see stuff put into that, they can submit it and we'll consider it, but we will be very selective and careful about that. Upgrades will be sent out if there is things put in, those upgrades will be sent out to the primary grid. You don't need to worry about things coming in that you don't know what they are. Your higher self's got everything's on a handshake protocol with your higher self, so that you're never going to get anything that's going to put you in put you outside of what your higher plan is. Your plan for your own goals while you're here, and that's the beauty of this design, is that there is that handshake protocol to ensure that people are always safe and getting what they need when they need it, and you will continue to get propelled, not only collectively but on that individual basis. You might feel when it steps you up to the next level, you may feel a little bit anxious, you may feel a little I want to say a little off kilter, but you're going to get your balance back. It's very mild, but you should. I know that I can tell when the grids kind of stepped it up for me a little bit each time, pushing me to keep expanding. So, but it's going to do it carefully and safely for you. And again, higher self is going to be in control of that. When I say higher self, I don't mean some entity outside of yourself. I mean that part of you that knows everything that we don't really have access to in our conscious state. So that component is our verifying check and balance to ensure that everything goes smoothly. And I think this has been really fun for me and for the people that have been working with me on this, and we're all very excited to roll this out. So you can check my site. It's wayofthefrogreiki.com, and please feel free to come. You can ask any questions. I'll try to get to all the questions, and if you're interested in ordering one of the capstones, you can do so at the site, and I will get them out to people as quickly as I can. Thanks. Take care.